friends, now I am going to discuss about the 8 rules that are going to be very important to do the nomenclature of branched chain alkane. So these 8 rules you have to remember, or you can say you should have some idea about all those 8 rules. So at first you have to understood all those 8 rules. So I am going to describe each rules with some specific examples so that you can easily follow those rules and you can apply those rules to do the nomenclature of any type of branched chain alkane. So if you accustomed with these 8 rules, you can do the nomenclature of any branched chain alkane. Okay, so the first rule is called locate the longest continuous chain of carbon atoms, okay, to determine the parent's name. So you have to determine at first, suppose you have given some structure, okay. So this is the structure. So you can see that there are total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 carbon atoms, okay. So how you can do the nomenclature? So the first step of doing the nomenclature is to choose the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. So you can see that this is the longest continuous chain of carbon atom, because if you go like this, okay, it should be continuous. If you go like this, you will get 1 2 3 4 5 6 carbon atom, okay. Or you can go like this also, same thing will be occur. So there is no problem if you can go like this or you can go like this. So this is the longest chain of carbon atom. So this is the first rule, that at first you have to choose the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. Now take the example of this molecule. So what will be the longest continuous chain? If you choose like this, this is the long continuous chain. How many carbons you will encounter? 1 2 3 4 5 6, okay. So by choosing this you will get 6 carbon atom. But what happen if you choose like this? You will get 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So you will get 7 carbon atom. So this is not the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. This one is the correct longest chain of carbon atom, okay. So at first if you are asked to do the nomenclature, the first step is to locate the longest continuous chain of carbon atom, okay. So first you have to identify what is the longest continuous chain in that compound, okay. This is the rule number 1. Now let's go back to rule number 2. So the rule number 2 is basically we have to do the numbering of this carbon atom. So each carbon atom you have to do some numbering, 1 2 3 4, okay. So numbering of the longest chain begin with the end of the chain near the substituents, okay. So first of all, as you know that in this case this is the longest chain, you can choose any one of these. So this is the longest chain, okay. So this is the substituent. Now you have to do the numbering in such a way that the substituent should get as low numbering as possible. So if you number this carbon atom 1, okay, and if then you number like this 2 3 4 5 6. So now you can see that in that case the number that the substituent gets is 5. On the other hand, if you choose that no, it should not be 1 2 3, it should not be this number, okay. So instead of this, if you choose that, I will choose like this 1 2 3 4 5 6. Now that you can see that by using this types of numbering, you can see that the substituents get the lowest number. So that's why this numbering is the right numbering. So you have to do the numbering in such a way that the substituent should get the as low number as possible, okay. So in these types of numbering 1 2 3 4 5, the substituent is getting number 5, but in this types of numbering 1 2 3 4 5 6, the substituent is getting number 2. So that's why this numbering is correct, okay. Similarly, now you have already know that this is the longest chain, okay. This is the longest chain you have already identified in rule number 1. Now if you do the numbering like this, 1 sorry, if you do the numbering like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so in that way you can see that the substituents get the number 3. So but if you do the numbering like this, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then in that case the substituent will get number 6. So that numbering will not be the right numbering. This is the right numbering, that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So in this way the substituents will get the lowest number. So you can see that the rule number 2 is basically the numbering of the longest chain. So you have to keep in mind while doing the numbering that the substituents should be numbered as low as possible. Okay, so that's why it is called that the numbering of the longest chain begin with the end of the chain near the substituents. Okay, so the numbering should start near the substituents as near as possible. This is the rule number 2. Okay, now let's go to the rule number 3. So we have already identified the longest chain, and we have already decided what is the numbering. Okay, so you are what the rule number 3 says. The rule number 3 says that the number obtained by applying rule 2 used to designate the location of the substituents group. Okay, so in that case we have already do the numbering, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can see that by using this numbering, by using rule number 2, we can get the location of the substituents. So 2 is the location of the substituents. So this is your substituent, that is methyl group. It is nothing but methyl group, and the location of the methyl group is 2. So in rule number 2, I have told you that in rule number 2, this numbering, that the location of this substituent should be as low as possible. Okay, so this is the location of the substituents, that is number 2. Similarly, if you do the numbering like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then this is the methyl substituents, and 3 is the location of this methyl substituents. Okay, so by using this numbering you can actually identify the location of the substituents group. So this is called the rule number 3. Okay, now what is rule number 4? Rule number 4 says, suppose if you have 2 or more substituents, then what you will do. So you can see, suppose this is the compound. Okay, suppose this is the compound. So what will be the parent chain? So according to the rule number 1, the parent chain will be the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. So what is the longest continuous chain? This one. So by this you will get total 6 carbon atom. So this is the longest chain of carbon atom. You can also choose like this also. No problem, you can choose like this also. Okay, so we will do the numbering at first by using the rule number 2. So by using this rule number 2, the numbering will be like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6. So you can see that your substituents gets the lowest number 2. This is a methyl substituent. Now the problem is that there are 2 substituents. One is at the position 2, that is methyl substituents, and another at the position 4, that is called the ethyl substituents. So how you will do the numbering? So according to the rule number 4, substituents group should be listed alphabetically. Okay, so this is the substituents methyl, and this is the substituent ethyl. Now in methyl the first word is M, and in ethyl the first word is E. So E is before M alphabetically, so that's why the ethyl group will be pronounced first. So that's why it is called 4-ethyl. The position of the substituent 4-ethyl. Okay, and then 2-methyl. So it is it should be named alphabetically because E is previous to M. So that's why it is ethyl will come first, then methyl will come second. And you can see that there are total 6 number of carbon atoms in the parent chain. So that's why it is called hexane. So the name of this compound is 4-ethyl 2-methyl hexane. This is according to rule number 4. So rule number 4 clarifies that what happen if your compound has more than one substituents, how you can do the nomenclature. So this is the way by which you can do the nomenclature according to rule number 4. Now in rule number 5 there is another problem may arise, that the two substituents may present on same carbon atom. Okay, so then what you will do? So this is one example. You can see this is the longest chain you have to identify. So this is the longest chain, so you will do the numbering like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6. So in that case also you will see that there are two substituents. One is methyl substituents and another is ethyl substituents. This is ethyl substituents and this is methyl substituents. Now in that case also you can see that these two substituents are connected with the same carbon atom, so the numbering is same, C3. So how you can do the nomenclature? So according to the rule number 5, if you have two substituents present on same carbon atom, then you have to use that number twice. Okay, so you can do like this: 3, then at first you have to write ethyl because E is alphabetically came before M. Okay, so 3 ethyl. Then you have to again use the number, because according to rule number 5, if you have two substituents attached with the same carbon atom, you have to write the number twice. 3, you have to write this 3 number twice: 3 ethyl, 3 methyl, and there is total 6 number of carbon atom in the parent chain, so that's why it is called hexane. Okay, so this is the rule number 5. Now come to the rule number 6. Now rule number 6 says that if there are two or more substituents are identical, so you can see this is an example. What we will do, you can see that this is the parent chain. This is, you can see this is the parent chain. Okay, so 1 2 3 4. Now you can see that there are two substituents at the position 2 and at the position 3, and both are identical, both are methyl. So in that case what you will do? In that case, according to the rule number 6, you will use the prefix like di, tri, tetra. If you have two identical substituents, then you will use the prefix di. If you similarly have 3 identical substituents, then you will use the prefix tri. If you have 4 identical substituents, then you will use the prefix tetra, and similar like that. Okay, now what happened in this case? As you can see that there are two methyl groups at the position 2 and at the position 3, so you will write 2 3 dimethyl, and there are total 4 carbon in the parent chain, so butane. 2,3 dimethyl butane. This is the nomenclature of this compound. Okay, now let's take the example of this compound. So at first you have to choose the right parent compound. So the parent or parent chain. So this is the parent chain, the longest continuous chain of carbon atom. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now you can see there is one methyl substituents at position 2, there is one methyl substituents at position 3, and there is another methyl substituents at position 4. So what you will write? You will write 2 3 4 trimethyl, because there are total 3 identical substituents, so that's why this word tri. 2 3 4 trimethyl, 5 carbon atom in the main parent chain, so that's why pentane. So the name of this compound is 2,3,4 trimethyl pentane. Okay, now take the example of another compound. So you can see that this is the longest chain of carbon atom, continuous chain. So the numbering will be 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so you can see at number 2 position there are 2 substituents. both are methyl. At number 4 also there are 2 substituents, these are also methyl. So how you will do the nomenclature? You will do nomenclature 2 2 because 2 comes twice, 2 2, then 4 4 because 4 comes twice, 2 2 4 4, tetra because total 4 times the same substituents occur, so that's why tetramethyl, and total 5 carbon atom in the parent or the main carbon chain, so 2244 tetramethyl pentane. So this is the nomenclature of this compound. Okay, so this is the rule 6 where the which says that if there are 2 or more substituents, then you have to use the prefix di, tri, tetra. Now let's go to the rule number 7. So in rule number 7, it may happen that if you do I have already told in rule number 1 that you have to choose the longest carbon chain as the parent chain, but if you have this types of compound, in this case you can see that if you choose like this, you will get total 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 carbon atom chain. Okay, similarly if you choose like this, you will get 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So in that case also you will get 7 carbon atom main chain. Okay, so which will be the parent chain? How you will decide which will be the parent chain? Whether this will be the parent chain or this is the parent chain. So to decide this, that what will be the parent chain in this types of case, rule number 7 is there. So according to the rule number 7, if there is some confusion that if the number of carbon atoms are same, then you have to choose that parent chain which has more number of substituents. So if you choose this is as your parent chain, you can see that there are one substituents methyl, there is another methyl substituents, and there is another methyl substituents. So if you choose this as the parent chain, you had total 3 number of substituents, 3 methyl substituents. On the other hand, what happen if you choose this as your parent chain or main chain? So you can see if you choose this as your main chain, you have only 1 substituents. So in that case you have to give the priority to that parent chain which is having more number of substituents. So in this case, this parent chain will be your main parent chain because it has 3 methyl substituents. Okay, so you have to do the numbering like this: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So numbering will be like that in such a way that the substituents will get lower order of number. Okay, so you can see that there is in the position 2 there is methyl group. Okay, at the same time there is in the 3 position also there is methyl group, and in the 5 position also there is methyl group. So you will write 2 3 5 trimethyl, that is according to rule number 6. 2 3 5 trimethyl, and in the 4 position there is another substituent that is called the propyl, 4 propyl, heptane because it is 7 membered parent chain. Okay, and you can see that I have written these substituents later because alphabetically it is after P is after T. Okay, so that's why it is called 2,3,5 trimethyl 4-propyl heptane. Okay, so this is the nomenclature of according to the rule number 7, where if there is any confusion to choose the parent chain, then you have to choose in such a way that you have to ensure that the parent chain should have maximum number of substituents. Okay, now let's go to the rule number 8. This is the last rule. If you expertise in all these 8 rules, I am very much sure that you do not face any problem while doing the nomenclature of these types of complex branched chain alkane. Okay, so let's come to the rule number 8. So according to the rule number 8, when first branching occur at equal distance, so you can see that this is your parent chain. This is your parent chain. Now this is the first branching that is occurred at this distance. So if you do the numbering from this way, 1 2, the first branching occurred at number 2. On the other hand, if you do the numbering like this, 1 2 also, in that case also, in that order of numbering also, the first branching occur at number 2 position. So in both way, the numbering of the first branching occur at number 2 position. So what you will do in that case, in which way you will choose the numbering, in this way 1 2 3 4 5, or in this way from left to right 1 2 3 4 5. So which way you will choose? The answer is that you have to see for the second substituents. Now the second substituents, if you choose the numbering like this 1 2 3 4 5 6, then the numbering of the second substituents will be 3. Okay, and if you choose from left to right 1 2 3 4, then the second substituents will get number 4. So you will see that if you choose from your right side to left side, in that case the numbering of the second substituents will be lower. So that's why this numbering from right side to left side, this numbering will be the right numbering according to the rule number 8. So the nomenclature of this compound will be 2 3 5 trimethyl, and as in the parent chain there are total 6 number of carbon atom, so it is called the hexane. So the nomenclature of this compound is 2,3,5 trimethyl hexane. So these are all the 8 rules. If you are get expertise in these 8 rules, I am very much sure that you can do the nomenclature of all types of complex branched alkane. So that's it from this part of this lecture, and in the next part of this lecture I will solve some problem, or I will also give you some homework. So stay tuned for that lecture and take care of yourself. Bye bye.